Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. Today we are going to be doing episode number 7 of I Build Your Teams, the series where you submit your teams to me on Twitter, and I tell you how I would build those teams to make them as good as possible for my Team Unlimited or a competitive setting. Before we hop into this video, if you haven't, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm on the grind to 1.2 thousand subscribers. I'm getting really close. I think I'm at something like 1,190, something along those lines right now. So if you could hit that subscribe button, help me get there. We're getting really close. I would really appreciate it. It's free to subscribe. You can unsubscribe at any time. But yeah, let's hop into this video and let's see what these teams are looking like. My first team is coming from my guy D. He says he's on current gen. He can pick up anyone. Clearly, he has 2.6 million MTs. He's sitting just fine on MT. Wilton Millsap on the way. And looking at this team, I really like a lot of things about this team. I do see some holes with the amount of MT that you have that I would definitely look to upgrade as well. Grant Hill and John Wall, I think your point guards are fine. I think if you wanted to upgrade John Wall, you go pick up a guy like Luka Doncic, but I don't think you have to do that. It's kind of up to you, but you do have the MT to do it if you want. Kevin Durant is great. I would go look to get either actually, with DeMar DeRozan being at the 3, just move DeMar DeRozan to your backup 2, and then your 2 is set completely. I would look to pick up probably Opal Paul George and Opal AK-47. Oh no, I forgot you said you have Millsap coming in. So go get a Paul George to play the 3, and then a Millsap can play your backup 3. And then you have Toppin and Unseld at the 4, which I think is completely fine. You said Wilt is on the way, so I'd play Wilt here, and then you could get Kareem as your backup center, or vice versa. Start Kareem, play Wilt as your backup center. But I think if you make those few upgrades, you're going to make this team basically one of the best possible teams you can have in the game. And I think your team will be super stacked at that point. Next team, we got my guy WarriorFC. Says he plays on current gen, likes throwing some pick and fades. With Hawks 2018, has 145k. So we do need a shooting big, and I think you have shooting big men right now. I like your starting lineup. I like pieces on your bench, but I think you can look to upgrade in certain areas on your bench. The first thing I'd be looking to do is I don't like this Bradley Beal. I think he's too small to play effectively, in all honesty, at only 6'3" at the shooting guard position. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move Sean Elliott to the backup 2. And then I'm going to take Bradley Beal out of the lineup entirely. Then I'm going to sell LaMelo Ball. This LaMelo Ball is a good card. He's fun to use, but I don't think he's all that great for Unlimited. If you disagree with me, feel free to keep using him with the backup power forward, but me personally, I wouldn't be running him at the power forward position. I would sell him. And then what I would look to do is I would look to go get Paul Millsap. I think if you do that, your 2 holes right here are shooting guard and small forward off the bench if you move Sean Elliott. I'm sorry, small forward and power forward off the bench if you move Sean Elliott to shooting guard. So if you make that upgrade, I think you could put Paul Millsap right here, and then you would only need to make one more upgrade. So with your MT that you had, you could go by a Galaxy Opal Paul George or Galaxy Opal Andre Kirilenko, whichever one of those 2 cards you prefer. Or you could go a cheaper route and look to pick up a guy like Andrew Wiggins or Malik Sealy to play that backup 3 for you, and then save your MT so that you can upgrade the center position at some point. Because I think for right now, you should just keep Pau Gasol, because I don't personally think with the amount of MT that you have that you're going to be able to pick up a center who makes enough of an impact to be worth spending all your MT on at that point. I would just save your MT for the center position to be upgraded at a later point when we get a really good budget center, or a card like Kareem or Wilt drops in price. Hopping over to the next team, we got my boy Alfonso. He says he's got 200k and he's a center and a 2 on current gen, and I can see that. I think I agree. I think we're in a similar position with the last team when it comes to the center position, where I don't think with 200k you're going to make an upgrade to either a guy like Kareem or Wilt that is going to make a significant enough difference that I think it's worth replacing Powell. So I think for the time being, you hold steady with Powell and you just use him for the time being, and I think he'll do a decent job. He says he's going to have Millsap soon, and I personally think that with this team, where you would slide in Millsap as the backup 3, and then I think you move Terry Dishinger to the 2, because I really personally love Terry Dishinger. I think he's a better card than Clyde. I think he's a better card than Brandon Roy. In all honesty, I'm really high on Terry Dishinger. And then whichever one of these 2 cards you prefer, you keep one of them in the lineup, and then you take the other one out for Terry Dishinger. At that point, you've spent no MT, and I think your team is looking better. Then if you wanted to further upgrade, the only thing that I can really see, because I don't think you're going to get a really huge upgrade at center, would be potentially selling Magic and looking to pick up a guy like Grant Hill or Luka Doncic. But if you're happy with the way your point guard position is right now, another thing you can do is basically just hold on to your MT. You get Millsap, you move Terry to the 2, replace one of these two guards, and then I think you're really sitting pretty in terms of your team being a very competitive team. And then you can just save your MT and wait to upgrade that center position and Pau Gasol, because I do believe Pau is probably your weakest position on the team right now. Checking out the next team, it comes in from my boy Josh. He says he's not really sure if there's anything he should change. He's going for Ferry. Is there something to upgrade? Should hold on to his coins. He plays current gen. He rim runs at 300s on Hawks 2018. And looking at this team, you have a god squad. I mean, you got 1.1 million MT, almost every good card. Like, I think you got a really, really good team. And I see what he's saying, that is there really anything to upgrade? And me personally, I have a couple different ways that I could go with this team. The first thing I would do is I would sell Chris Webber, because I don't see the point of having Chris Webber, in all honesty, when you have Kobe and Grant Hill. Then I would do that no matter what. The next thing I would do, you either have the option to potentially sell Kobe. If you love Kobe, feel free to keep him. I personally think Grant Hill is a better card. I think Luka is a better card, and I think for his price, Luka's not even close. Like, it's significantly better. If you can find a Luka with Hall of Fame clamps and a couple other Hall of Fame badges, I would sell the Kobe, buy a Luka with those badges. I think it makes your point guard position better, and it saves you a ton of MT. If you really want to keep Kobe, you're a huge Kobe fan, I totally understand that. Me personally, I love Kobe cards as well. At some point, I would love to get this Kobe card just for fun. But so if you want to hold on to him, you already have him. I'm not going to tell you not to. I don't think that's a bad idea. And I think your point guard position is fine if you want to keep Kobe the way he is. If you decide you want to keep Kobe, what I would look to do would be to pick up Kareem and sell Andre Kirilenko and move David Robinson to the backup 4. I think that would be the best course of action to upgrade this team to its like maximum potential right now. I think that's what I would recommend doing. And then I think you can save the rest of your MT, whether you decide to sell Kobe or not, in all honesty. But honestly, even if you didn't make any moves, I think your team's looking really, really good right now. I don't think you need to upgrade anything. That's just the one upgrade I personally would look to make. Next team, we got my guy, Mentally Erect. Interesting name. And I actually played this dude in Unlimited yesterday, and his team is not the best, but he's a really, really solid player. When I came up against him yesterday, I was actually very impressed. He was a very good player, knew very well what he was doing. And he said he's got about 200K to work with. If we're working with this current team, we have about 200K. I think these 3 are fine, obviously. I know you're good enough to go get Paul Millsap, so immediately, my first thing, go get Paul Millsap, play him at the 4, sell Giannis, or play him at the 3, move top into the 4, sell Giannis. Either way, that's going to make you profit. You'll be sitting at closer to 250,000 MT, maybe even a little bit more than that. Then your next 2 courses of action are to get yourself a point guard, get yourself a center, because I think D'Angelo Russell and Kevin McHale are your weakest links. Zach LaVine too, to a certain extent, but we can work with that. We can work on that in a second. So the next thing, for D'Angelo Russell, you can replace D'Angelo Russell with there's a couple different options. You could go get a Magic Johnson. I know this guy's a really good dribbler. He can make Magic Johnson work very well for him. So that's the first place I might go. And if we don't go get Magic Johnson, then you could go get a badged out Joakim Noah. He's not nearly as good offensively, but he's really good on the defensive end, and he can be very serviceable offensively if he's fully badged out, and he would be a cheaper option. So I would say go one of those 2 ways to upgrade your point guard position. After doing that and selling Giannis, you'll probably have somewhere around 175,000 MT would be my estimate. Maybe 150,000 if you get Magic, maybe more if you get Joakim Noah. But the next thing I would be looking to do is I would pick up Karl-Anthony Towns for Kevin McHale. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is definitely an upgrade over McHale. I think if you do that, you're making your team better, and Karl-Anthony Towns is not expensive. The next thing you can do to upgrade your shooting guard position, if you're able to get Michael Redd in Unlimited, I think you just play Michael Redd to save MT. But if you're not able to get Michael Redd in the meantime, go get a guy like Andrew Wiggins. That Wiggins card, I think Wiggins is an exceptional card. I'm really, really a huge fan of the Pink Diamond Wiggins. I think he's the best budget shooting guard small forward in the game, personally. That's just my opinion. So that's probably where I would look to go, is get an Andrew Wiggins to replace this Zach LaVine, because the Wiggins is a better card. At that point, you probably have something along the lines of 100,000 plus MT still, and you have an upgraded team at that point, I believe. And I think once you do that, you're sitting on a better team that is going to be better and unlimited and more competitive, and you still have a decent amount of MT to work with. And at that point, I might just save for better budget cards, or to potentially upgrade Tyrese, upgrade Joakim Noah if you choose to get him. I'd probably go in the Magic Johnson direction personally, but it's up to you how you want to go in that direction. And You can also save MT for a better center at some point, because I still think Spencer and Karl-Anthony Towns isn't the strongest center duo, but it will work for the time being. Hopping over to the next team, we got my boy Nabil. He says he's got 570k. He plays on current. Starting lineup is fine. Terry is good. I'd move Clyde Drexler to the backup 2. Go pick up a Paul George for the 3. Go pick up go get Paul Millsap from Unlimited to play the backup 4. Or you can start him at the 4, play Obi at the backup 4. Either one. So then these positions are you need a backup point guard and a backup center. So you'd still have plenty of MT, probably 450k or so, maybe a little bit less. Go get honestly, I'd look to pick up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think Kareem's the biggest upgrade. You get Kareem here, you play D-Rob as your backup center, and then you just need a point guard. But I think for the time being, you hold on to Donald, because I don't think there's anything wrong with running Donald. You save your MT to get a guy like Magic Johnson, because you probably won't have quite enough MT to get him. But yeah, save your MT for Magic or Luka, and I think everything else about your team, if you made those 2 upgrades, would be really, really solid at this point. Next team, we got Trevast. Hope I pronounced that right. He says he's got 500k. He likes to room and 300. He plays on next gen. He prefers Kobe to Grant Hill. I mean, okay, I don't, but that is your choice, and you clearly have enough MT to make that work. So if you love Kobe, we'll hold on to him. We'll keep him in the starting point guard position. In all honesty, there's not a ton I would be looking to change. I can see immediately looking at your bench, you very likely locked in for Phil Jackson because of the amount of hero Golden Age cards that you have, and I'm going to ignore your last 3 because I don't think the last 3 really matter. So we're working with this 10-man. Because you locked in for Jordan, I'm going to tell you to keep Jordan. I think he's just fine. He can play that backup shooting guard position for you very well. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move Obi Toppin into the power forward. I'm going to take Pau Gasol out of the lineup entirely. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go pick up Paul Millsap to play that 3. It costs no MT. He's really, really good. The final thing that I'm going to look to do on this team, you can have plenty of MT. You've really not spent any MT making those 2 changes. Go pick up a guy like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to replace this Dirk. And that'll give you the same starting lineup with a bench of Grant Hill, Michael Jordan, Paul Millsap, Obi Toppin, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. At that point, you have a elite comp level team. Can compete with any team in the game. Shouldn't lose much in Unlimited against worse teams anyway. Final team today for this episode, we got my guy Lucas. He's going to have a mill win if this all sells. He runs Hawks 2018. He's on current gen. And he told me this morning that he actually wound up picking up KD. So I'm going to put KD in here for Bradley Beal, and I'm going to save about 800,000 MT. So at that point, we're looking at John Wall, KD, Paul Millsap, Wes Unseld, David Robinson, Obi off the bench, Brandon Roy off the bench. Everything else needs to be upgraded, in my opinion. You're sitting about 800,000 MT. So what we need is a point guard, we need a small forward, and we need a center. So at the small forward position, go get yourself a guy like Andrew Wiggins. If you want to be cheap, if you want to be more expensive, go get Paul George. One of those 2, be about, I don't know, 20,000 MT or 150,000 MT, something like that. I'd probably go in the Paul George direction with the amount of MT you have, but you could also go Andrew Wiggins. Then you need a shooting guard. Go get Magic Johnson or Luka, one of those 2, and go get yourself a Kareem to play center. Kareem starts at center. David Robinson's your backup. If you prefer Wilt, go get Wilt, but I personally prefer Kareem, so I would say in that direction. So that would give you a lineup of projected potentially Luka, Kevin Durant, Paul Millsap, Wes, and Kareem, and then John Wall, Brandon Roy, Andrew Wiggins, Paul George, Obi Toppin, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think you could get all those cards with the amount of MT that you have, and it'd make you a really, really solid team. I think at that point you have, or this is David Robinson, not Kareem, I'm sorry. But I think that would give you basically a competitive level team that I think could compete with any team in the game. So, yeah, for that reason, that's probably what I would look to do with the MT that you personally have. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the video, what you think of these teams, and what you would have changed potentially. If you weren't able to be included in this week's episode, make sure you go follow me on Twitter. My link will be down in the description. I post every Friday night about doing I Build Your Teams on Saturday. So be on the lookout for that tweet every Friday from me on Twitter, and respond with your team, the play style, and what gen you play on, as well as how much MT you have if you want a chance to be featured in the next I Build Your Teams episode. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment again, and hit that subscribe button, as we're getting really close to 1.2 thousand subscribers, and I would really appreciate the support. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, and I will be back with another 2K video very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.